Hello and welcome to another video about what I have learned about China while learning its language. This is the second video. If you haven't watched the first video, be sure to watch that, because in that video I introduced you to something called pinyin. Pinyin is the alphabetic version of the Chinese characters. The Chinese characters, basically pictorials, will be the actual writing of Mandarin Chinese. And whenever I write Mandarin even today, I prefer to write both pinyin and the actual Hanzi. This is Hanzi, and I'm going to introduce you to one particular Hanzi today. What does China call itself in its own language, in Mandarin? China calls itself Zhongguo. Zhongguo. There are two characters in play here, Zhong and Guo. Let's deal with the second one first. Guo is a character used for country. Then the US, for example, is called Mei Guo. France is called Fa Guo. Germany is called Te Guo. And just because you might be wondering, India is called In Tu. No Guo in that. I'll get into the logic of that in some other video. The meaning of Guo must be obvious to you by now. It's simply country. Now let's come to Zhong. Zhong means center. So China literally calls itself central country. Now the logic of this is obvious. The name probably just simply comes from their perspective, where China, regardless of where it was in the world, was in the center, and then they were dealing with peoples of other cultures and countries. It's as simple as that. But it's something worth noting, and it's something interesting. Because if you feel that this is an example of hubris, then we also have a country called Great Britain, which chose its name on its own. So where a lot of countries have identified themselves with, in some cases, a person, in other cases their geography, in more other cases their culture, China and Britain have gone with central country and Great Britain. Now, let's be honest, there is no conclusion to be drawn here just because China calls itself central country or Zhongguo in its native language. I'll tell you that Meikuo, the name for the United States, in fact means beautiful country. And it's interesting to look at the thought process that must have gone into these names. For example, central country comes from probably perspective, and beautiful country comes from a fascination that the Chinese culture has had with the American culture. Zhongguo is simply a proper noun with no political or analytical conclusion to be drawn here. So let's just leave it at that. I just felt that this is something interesting to note for us as we go deeper into what we can learn about China through its language. So this is just the second video on China. Be sure to check out the first video and subscribe to the channel so that you can watch the next video, which will come next Sunday. In that video, we'll go deeper into what we can learn about China through its language. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment of what you think about this. And if you would like anybody else to know that China calls itself central country, be sure to share this video. Thank you.